Then through gritted teeth, he hissed, "Which one of you put super glue on my passenger seat?" The silence in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Tom's question hung in the air, his voice trembling with a mix of rage and terror. His eyes darted from Mom to Hannah to me, as if he couldn't believe one of the people he was supposed to trust most in the world would do something so cruel, so petty, so calculated. I sat on the couch, my hands folded neatly in my lap, my expression as innocent as a lamb, exactly the way I'd practiced it. Inside, though, a cold, bitter laugh bubbled up. Let the games begin. Let them turn on each other just like they turned on me. Mom was the first to react, her face turning from pale to crimson in seconds. She slammed her fist on the dining table, sending the half-empty plates of food clattering. "What did you say? Super glue on your seat? Who in their right mind would do that? It sure as hell wasn't me. I've been right here with this useless woman all night." He jabbed a finger at Hannah, her one good eye blazing with fury. The pirate patch I'd bought her, black leather with a silver skull, a petty little joke that had made her snarl at me for a week, glinted in the dim kitchen light, a constant reminder of the damage Hannah had done, the damage I'd ensured Mom couldn't forget. Hannah jumped to her feet, her own face flushed with indignation, her hands balled into fists at her sides. "Me? You think it was me? Are you out of your mind, you one-eyed hag?" She took a step toward Mom, her voice rising to a shrill shriek. "I love Tom. I would never do anything to hurt him. Unlike you. You've hated me from the second I laid eyes on you. You've been trying to ruin us since the mall. And now you're framing me for this." "Framing you," Mom screeched, lunging forward as if she would attack Hannah right then and there. I leaned forward slightly, ready to stop them if needed. Just enough to keep the fight going, not enough to actually end it. Tom, though, was faster. He stumbled between them, his body still stiff from the super glue fiasco, his suit pants sticking to his legs, in a way that made him look both ridiculous and pathetic. "Stop, both of you. Stop!" he yelled, his voice cracking. "I just spent 2 hours in the emergency room. The doctors had to use acetone to get my pants off. And my skin is peeling. I'm in agony. And all you two can do is scream at each other." He turned to Hannah, his eyes filled with a fragile hope, like he was begging her to prove him wrong. "Hannah, tell me it wasn't you, please. I know you get jealous, but this is too much." Hannah's face crumpled and she threw herself at Tom, sobbing into his chest. "Babe, I swear it wasn't me. I would never hurt you. I think it was her." She pointed at me, her red-rimmed eyes narrowing with suspicion. "She's been weird ever since we got married. She never talks to us. She never smiles. She probably hates me because I'm with you. She's the one who did it. She's trying to make us fight." All eyes turned to me. I let my lower lip tremble, my eyes filling with fake tears as I shook my head. "Hannah, how could you say that? I've been in my room all night reading. I didn't even go near Tom's car. I would never do something like that to my own brother." I looked at Tom and my voice breaking. "Tom, you know me. I'm not like that. I just want us all to get along. was the perfect lie, sweet, innocent. The kind of lie that had always worked for me in the past. Back when I was the naive little sister who let them walk all over her. But now it was a weapon. And judging by the look on Tom's face, it was working. He hesitated, his gaze flickering between Hannah's tear-stained face and my own broken one. He wanted to believe Hannah. She was his wife, the love of his life. But he also wanted to believe that I, his little sister, couldn't be capable of such malice. Mom scoffed, crossing her arms over her chest. Please, she's too weak to do something like this. She's always been a coward. No, it was you, Hannah. You're a jealous, psychotic bitch. And you can't stand the thought of Tom being happy, even if it's with you. I'm not psychotic. Hannah screamed, pulling away from Tom to glare at Mom. You're the one who's crazy. You lost your eye because you're stupid. Not because of me. And now you're taking it out on me. I should have never agreed to marry into this messed up family. Then leave, Mom shot back. No one's stopping you. Get out of my house and never come back, Mom. Tom yelled, horrified. You can't say that, Hannah's my wife. Oh, so now you're taking her side. Mom shrieked, her voice cracking with betrayal. After she blinded me, after she probably put super glue on your seat. You're still defending her. I should have never had you. You're a disappointment, a coward. Just like your father. The mention of Dad hit Tom like a punch to the gut. Dad had left us when we were kids, abandoning Mom to raise us alone. It was Mom's biggest wound. And she never hesitated to use it against Tom when she was angry. His face paled and he stumbled back, looking like a lost little boy. Hannah saw her chance and she wrapped her arms around him again, whispering in his ear. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but I could see the way her eyes flickered toward me, cold and calculating. Whatever she was telling him, it was working. Tom's expression softened, and he wrapped his arms around her, shooting Mom a look of anger and betrayal. I can't believe you said that, Mom, he said, his voice quiet but firm. Hannah didn't do anything wrong. It was a mistake, just like the mall incident. We need to move on. Move on. Mom screamed. How am I supposed to move on when I only have one eye? When my own son is defending the woman who did this to me? She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. And I stood up, walking over to her to comfort her. I put a hand on her shoulder, squeezing gently, just hard enough to remind her of the pain. It's hard enough to keep her angry. It's okay, Mom, I whispered, my voice soft and soothing. I'm here. Tom's just upset. He doesn't mean it. Let's just go to bed. We can talk about this tomorrow. Mom nodded, still sobbing, and I helped her stand up, leading her toward her bedroom. As we passed Tom and Hannah, I shot Hannah a quick, innocent smile. Hannah's eyes narrowed and she tightened her grip on Tom's arm. I knew she didn't believe me. But it didn't matter. What mattered was that Tom did. Or at least that he wanted to. And that was enough to keep the tension alive. Enough to keep them fighting. That night, I lay in bed wide awake, listening to the sounds of the house. I could hear Tom and Hannah arguing in their bedroom, their voices muffled but sharp. I could hear Mom crying in hers. It was music to my ears. After all the pain they put me through, the eye of the burns, the abandonment, the shame, I deserved to hear them suffer. I deserved to watch them destroy each other. But I wasn't done yet. The superglue was just the beginning. I had bigger plans, crueler plans. Plans that would make them regret ever crossing me. The next morning, the house was tense. Mom refused to come out of her room. And Tom and Hannah barely spoke to each other. I made breakfast, pancakes, Tom's favorite, and set it on the table. I called Mom a few times, but she didn't answer. Finally, I knocked on her door. My voice soft. Mom, I made breakfast. Please come eat. You need your strength. The door opened a crack and Mom peered out at me. Her eye red and puffy, her pirate patch askew. Go away, she muttered. I don't want to talk to anyone. I know you're hurt, Mom, I said, pushing the door open slightly. But you can't stay in here forever. Hannah's not worth it. And Tom, he'll come around. He just needs time. I paused, leaning in closer, my voice dropping to a whisper. But if he doesn't, if Hannah keeps hurting you, keeps hurting Tom, we can make her pay together. Mom's eye widened, and she stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. For a moment, I thought she might refuse. Might call me crazy. But then a cold, hard look settled in her good eye. A look I recognized, a look of revenge. What do you have in mind? She asked, her voice low and dangerous. I smiled, a slow, cold smile that didn't reach my eyes. Let's just say we can give Hannah a taste of her own medicine. She's paranoid, right? She thinks every woman near Tom is a mistress. So let's give her something to be paranoid about. Mom nodded, a faint smirk tugging at the corner of her mouth. Tell me more. Over breakfast, I laid out my plan. It was simple. Really. Play on Hannah's paranoia. Make her think Tom was cheating on her. Make her lash out. And then make sure Tom saw just how crazy she really was. Mom loved it. She'd always been a petty woman. And the thought of getting back at Hannah filled her with a new energy. We spent the morning plotting, whispering in the kitchen, while Tom was at work and Hannah was in her room resting. By the time we were done, Mom's face was glowing with excitement. And I knew we were ready. That afternoon, I went to the mall. I bought a cheap sparkly necklace, something Hannah would never wear, and a tube of bright red lipstick, the same shade I'd seen Hannah wear once. I also bought a small empty perfume bottle, which I filled with a floral scent. That was nothing like Hannah's usual musky perfume. Then I went to Tom's office. I knew he was in a meeting, so I left the necklace on his desk, with a smudge of red lipstick on the edge of his notebook, and a spritz of the floral perfume in the air. I didn't leave a note. There was no need. Hannah would find it and she would jump to conclusions. That's what she did best. When I got home, Hannah was in the living room scrolling through her phone. She looked up when I walked in, her eyes narrowing. Where were you? She asked, her voice sharp. Just at the mall, I said, smiling innocently. I needed to buy some things. Why did you miss me? Hannah rolled her eyes, going back to her phone. Whatever Tom called. He said he's working late tonight. I raised an eyebrow. Really? He didn't mention that to me? That's weird. He usually tells me everything. I paused, feigning confusion, my brow furrowing just enough to plant the seed. Are you sure he's working, Hannah? I mean, usually when he works late, he complains about it in the group chat. Today, radio silence. Hannah stopped scrolling. Her thumb hovered over the screen. She didn't look up, but her posture stiffened. He's busy. Big project. Right. Of course. I walked past her toward the kitchen, but then stopped and turned back, as if an afterthought had just struck me. Oh, by the way, did he mention losing a necklace? I saw something shiny in his car earlier when I went to grab my charger, but I didn't want to touch it. Looked kind of flashy. Not really your style. Hannah's head snapped up so fast I thought she might get whiplash. What necklace? Just something sparkly. Maybe a gift for you? I smiled sweetly. I'm sure it's a surprise. Pretend I didn't say anything. I skipped into the kitchen, humming a tune. 5 minutes later, I heard the front door slam. Hannah was gone. She was driving to his office. Hook, line, and sinker. The plan was already in motion. Mom was in her room, resting, but I knew she was waiting for my signal. I texted her, "Showtime." An hour later, Tom came home. He looked exhausted, his tie loose, his shirt rumpled. He didn't have a necklace. He didn't have lipstick on his collar. But he had a look of utter bewilderment on his face. Hannah stormed in right behind him, her face a mask of fury. She was holding the cheap sparkly necklace I had planted on his desk. "Explain this," she shrieked, throwing it at him. It hit his chest and clattered to the floor. "Hannah, I told you, I don't know where that came from." Tom pleaded, holding his hands up in surrender. I walked into my office after the meeting and it was just there. Maybe a client left it? Or a coworker? A client left a diamond necklace on your desk with a kiss mark on your notebook? Hannah screamed. She pulled out his notebook from her bag, she had raided his office, and shoved the lipstick smudge in his face. And the perfume. Your office smelled like a French whorehouse. I don't know. Tom looked like he was about to cry. Maybe the cleaning lady spilled something? Hannah, please, you have to trust me. Trust you? She laughed, a high, hysterical sound. Like I trusted you when you said your sister was harmless? Like I trusted your mother not to be a psycho? This family is poison, Tom. And you're just like them. A liar. Mom emerged from her room then. She was wearing her eye patch, her hair wild. She looked like a vengeful spirit. What is going on now? She demanded, though she knew perfectly well. Your son is cheating on me. Hannah yelled. Good. Mom shot back, not missing a beat. At least he has some taste if he found someone better than you. Though judging by that necklace, she glanced at the cheap jewelry on the floor, she's cheap. Just like you. Mom. Tom roared. Stop helping. I'm not helping, I'm stating facts. If you were a real man, you would have kicked this harpy out months ago. The screaming match escalated. Tom was trapped between two furies. Hannah was accusing him of infidelity, Mom was accusing him of weakness. And I sat on the stairs, watching the show, eating an apple. It was delicious. Chapter 4, The Escalation. Over the next few weeks, the house became a war zone. I was the arms dealer, supplying ammunition to both sides. I accidentally left Tom's phone unlocked when Hannah was nearby, having changed the name of his female coworker, Sarah, to Sweetheart in his contacts just minutes before. I helpfully mentioned to Mom that I saw Hannah browsing nursing homes online. Mom went ballistic, convinced Hannah was plotting to lock her away. She retaliated by pouring bleach on Hannah's favorite black dress, claiming it was an accident while doing laundry. Hannah retaliated by accidentally locking Mom out of the house in the rain for 3 hours. Tom was fraying at the edges. He started drinking. He stayed late at work for real now, avoiding the toxicity at home. Which, of course, only fueled Hannah's paranoia. But the masterstroke was yet to come. I needed to break them completely. I needed Tom to see Hannah not just as jealous, but as dangerous. I waited for the anniversary of the day Dad left. It was always a dark day for Mom, and Tom usually tried to be extra sensitive. I bought a bottle of expensive whiskey. I spiked it with a mild sedative, just enough to make someone groggy, confused. I left it in the living room with a note, for Tom. Love, Hannah. Then, I went into Hannah's bathroom. I took her razor. I took a pair of Mom's old gardening gloves. And I went to Tom's car. I slashed the tires. All 4 of them. And I carved the word liar into the leather of the driver's seat. I hid the razor and the gloves in Hannah's vanity drawer, underneath her makeup. When Tom came home that night, he found the whiskey. Touched by the gesture, thinking Hannah was trying to make peace, he drank a glass. Then another. By the time he woke up the next morning, late for work, his head was swimming. He stumbled out to his car. The scream he let out was primal. We all ran outside. My car. Tom wailed, looking at the shredded tires and the ruined interior. Who did this? Hannah stood there, pale and shocked. Tom. I didn't. You. Tom spun on her, his eyes wild and bloodshot from the sedative hangover. You're the only one crazy enough. You've been accusing me of cheating for weeks. Is this your revenge? No. I swear. Hannah was crying. I bought you the whiskey. I wanted to make up. Whiskey? Tom blinked. Wait, the whiskey. I felt weird after drinking it. Did you drug me? Did you drug me so you could trash my car? What? No. Check her room, Mom hissed from the doorway. Check her things. Crazy people always keep trophies. Tom stormed past Hannah, ignoring her pleas. He ran upstairs to their bedroom. We followed. He tore through the drawers. Clothes flew everywhere. Finally, he yanked open the vanity drawer. There, nestled among the lipsticks, were the muddy gardening gloves and the razor, still flecked with bits of leather from his car seat. The silence in the room was absolute. Tom held up the razor, his hand shaking. Tom. Hannah whispered. I've never seen those before. Someone planted them. It's her. She pointed at me again. It's your sister. She's setting me up. Tom looked at me. I was standing in the doorway, clutching my chest, tears streaming down my face. Tom, I sobbed. I was terrified last night. I heard noises. I thought it was a burglar. I hid under my bed. I didn't know it was her. You liar. Hannah lunged at me. But this time, Tom didn't hesitate. He caught her by the arms and shoved her back. Hard. She fell onto the bed, bouncing. "Get out," Tom said. His voice was dead calm. "Get out of my house. Get out of my life. Before I call the police and have you arrested for vandalism and assault." "Tom, please." "Now," he roared. Hannah scrambled up, grabbing her purse. She looked at me one last time, her eyes filled with a terrifying realization. She finally saw me. Not as the weak little sister, but as the architect of her ruin. "You won," she hissed as she passed me. "But he'll find out. He'll find out what you are." "By then," I whispered back, so only she could hear, "it won't matter." She fled. Chapter 5, The Aftermath. The house was quiet after that. But it wasn't peaceful. Mom was triumphant, but her victory felt hollow. She had her son back, but he was a broken shell. Tom sat in the living room for days, staring at the wall, drinking. I played the role of the dutiful sister. I cleaned up the mess. I cooked meals. I listened to Mom gloat and Tom grieve. But I wasn't done. Hannah was gone, but the root of the problem remained. Mom. She was the original sin. She was the one who taught me that love was transactional, that family was a weapon. She was the one who let me burn. I needed her gone too. But not like Hannah. Hannah was fire and explosion. Mom needed to be a slow erosion. I started small. I moved her things. Just an inch here, a foot there. Her glasses. Her keys. Her medication. She started to doubt her memory. I could have sworn I left my pills on the counter, she'd mutter, searching frantically. "No, Mom," I'd say gently. "You left them in the bathroom. Remember?" I'd retrieve them from where I hid them and hand them to her. "Oh. Right. I'm forgetting things." Then, I started with the voices. I bought a small, high-quality Bluetooth speaker. I hid it in the vent in her bedroom. At night, I played recordings. Very faint. Whispers. "It's your fault. He left because of you. Everyone leaves." It was Dad's voice. I had found old home videos, spliced the audio together. Mom stopped sleeping. She started pacing the halls at night, screaming at ghosts. "He's here," she told Tom one morning, her eyes wild. "Your father. He's in the vents. He's mocking me." Tom looked at her with pity and exhaustion. "Mom, Dad hasn't been here in 20 years. You need to sleep." "I can't sleep." He whispers to me. "Maybe we should see a doctor," I suggested softly. "Early onset dementia, it runs in the family, doesn't it?" Tom looked at me, worried. "Does it?" "I think so," I lied. "Grandma had it." Mom spiraled. She became paranoid, accusing the mailman of being a spy, accusing the neighbors of stealing her thoughts. One night, I turned the speaker up. I played a recording of a baby crying. Mom burst into my room at 3 a.m. "Where is it?" she screamed. "Where is the baby?" "What baby, Mom?" I sat up, rubbing my eyes. "The baby. I hear it crying." Is it Hannah's? Did she leave a baby here?" "Mom, there's no baby." "You're dreaming." "I'm not crazy." She grabbed my lamp and threw it against the wall. It shattered. Tom ran in. He saw Mom standing amidst the broken glass, screaming at nothing. He saw me cowering in bed. "That's it," Tom said, his voice breaking. "I can't do this anymore. Mom, you need help. Professional help." Chapter 6, The Institution. It took 2 weeks to get the paperwork done. Mom fought it, of course. She screamed that I was doing this, that I was the devil. But to the doctors, to the social workers, she just sounded like a paranoid schizophrenic or a dementia patient in deep decline. She blames her daughter for everything, the doctor noted on his clipboard. Classic persecution complex. The day they came to take her, I stood on the porch. 2 orderlies led her out. She was sedated, shuffling. But when she saw me, her eye focused. "You," she slurred. "You did this." I stepped closer. I hugged her. "I love you, Mom," I whispered. "Don't worry. You'll be safe there. No one can hurt you. Not Dad. Not Hannah. You." She tried to pull away, but her limbs were heavy. "And don't worry about Tom," I added, smiling against her hair. "I'll take good care of him. Just like you took care of me." She let out a low moan of despair as they put her in the van. Tom stood beside me, wiping tears from his eyes. "It's for the best," he said, trying to convince himself. She was suffering. Yes, I agreed. She was. Chapter 7, The Final Piece. Now it was just me and Tom. The house was quiet. Peaceful. But Tom was a loose end. He was weak. He was easily manipulated. And eventually, he might start asking questions. Or worse, he might find someone else. Another Hannah. Another Mom. I couldn't have that. I needed him to be dependent on me. Wholly and completely. I started managing his finances. "You're too stressed, Tom. Let me handle the bills." I started intercepting his calls. Oh, that was just a spam caller. No one important. I started isolating him from his friends. "They're talking about you, Tom. They think you're crazy for what happened with Hannah. They think you drove her away." He believed me. He always believed me. 6 months later, Tom lost his job. He was too depressed, too erratic. "It's okay," I told him, stroking his hair as he cried on the sofa. "We don't need them. We have the house. We have Mom's savings. We have each other." "I'm a failure," he wept. "I lost my wife. I lost my mom. I lost my job." "You didn't lose me," I said. And that was the truth. He would never lose me. Because I was never letting him go. Epilogue. A year later. I sat in the garden, drinking lemonade. The roses were blooming beautifully this year. I used a special fertilizer. Tom was inside, watching TV. He rarely went out anymore. He said the world was too loud, too cruel. He preferred it here, with me. The phone rang. It was the institution. "I'm sorry to inform you," the nurse said, her voice professional and somber. "Your mother passed away last night. It seems her heart just gave out." "Oh," I said. "That's terrible." "She said something before she died," the nurse continued. "She kept repeating a name. Jade?" "That's me," I said. She said, "Jade is the spider. Does that mean anything to you?" I smiled, looking at the intricate web a garden spider had spun between two rose bushes. It glistened in the sun, perfect, deadly, beautiful. No, I said. She was confused at the end. Thank you for calling. I hung up. I walked inside. Who was that? Tom asked, looking up from his show. Wrong number, I said. Want some lunch? I'm making pancakes. Tom smiled. A weak, dependent, grateful smile. I'd love that, Jade. You're the best. I know, I said. I went into the kitchen. I hummed a little tune. The house was mine. The family was mine. The silence was mine. And finally, after all these years, I was happy. The end.